Things just took a shocking turn for the Vancouver Canucks as we get multiple updates surrounding key players in Thatcher Demko, Conor Garland after sustaining an injury, and an update from the Vancouver Canucks on Nils Hoglander as they look to navigate early season injuries as they continue to drop in the standings. We're going to break down reports on all three of these players, how it has implications on the team moving forward, and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching, and if you haven't hit the sub button yet, make sure to go down and hit it. It's completely free, it means the world, and in return, we'll give you daily updates from around the Canucks. But with that, let's just dive straight into it today, where there's a lot of reports to break down in this. The first one coming from the Canucks today, where Nikita Tolopilo has been moved to the non-roster during his absence, and Jiri Patera has been recalled from the Abbotsford Canucks. Now, going into this, Jiri Patera's wife is currently going into labor, so I don't expect this to be a long-term thing, and I just want to give a huge shout out to the soon-to-be father with his kid coming through. Now, with Tolopilo stepping out, and we're going to get into this update in Thatcher Demko very shortly, but this leaves the only goaltender with, of course, Jiri Patera coming up in Kevin Lankinen to continue with the workload. Now, what has turned into a very good signing? 4.5 might seem like a lot, but this is the starting goaltender at the moment for the Canucks. Kevin Lankinen is going to continue being a workhorse for this team. 14 games played this year. Yes, 4-7-3 is not the best record, a sub 900 save percentage, but this just shows how much this signing meant for the Vancouver Canucks after they've dealt with a lot of injuries to their Vezina caliber goalie in Thatcher Demko, and that goes straight into the second topic today, where Rick Dhaliwal did come out. The Canucks were hoping Thatcher Demko would join the team on the road, but he did not. He continues to rehab at home. Now we're going to touch on the Nils Hoglander just a bit, but the big thing is with Thatcher Demko is we're seeing the early season injuries yet again, which we did see last season and in the playoffs versus the Edmonton Oilers. Now with Thatcher Demko, as we can see from Adam, tomorrow is the 3-week mark when it comes to Demko's injury. He has yet to participate in a Canucks practice. Now this is feeling like a bit of a setback. With the 3-week mark, you'd wish him be with the Vancouver Canucks going into Colorado. Of course, you don't want to rush him, and you want to get this goaltender back to fully healthy, because when Demko is healthy, we know how good he is. I mean, looking at the stats throughout the Canucks, they've played 4 goaltenders. Kevin Lankinen, 14 games played with a sub 900. Thatcher Demko 5 and 4 in 10 games with a 903. Thatcher Demko is the brick wall of this team. We know how good he is. He can steal you games alone. We've seen early season when the Canucks were struggling a little bit, Thatcher Demko stepped in and stole them a lot of games. Now, there's going to be a lot of fans, myself not included, that want to sit Demko because we want to drop in the standings. Listen, I want this Canucks team to win every game possible. If they can go on a run and make the playoffs, that would be awesome. But I also understand people wanting a top 3 pick in this draft as this team continues to get younger. Now, the big thing circulating and kind of with Thatcher Demko in the final year of that 5-year deal, going into his next contract with the extension, 8.5 on 3 years. Now, the big thing with Thatcher Demko, as I said, and as every Canucks fan does say, when Demko is healthy, this is a goaltender you can win with. A goaltender that we know can set the tone. And now with him once again feeling like a setback, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, he's setback on an injury, but the fact that they wanted him on this road trip to join this team, practice with the team, eventually get in, seeing the 3-week mark that we can see here after the injury, and him still not being with the team participating. Yes, you can keep him at home. They have a game versus Colorado before heading back for a stretch of home games. This is the perfect opportunity for Thatcher to get some more work, hopefully joining the Canucks when they get home. And once again, I cannot stress enough, do not rush him in. Listen, if you're in the group that wants to lose games, this is perfect. Kevin Lankinen is a great goaltender, but he is not Thatcher Demko. If Jiri Patera has to step in, we've seen him struggle in the game, and listen, you cannot put that on him because the Canucks played terrible, but this is a team that's going to continue dropping in the standings if Thatcher Demko is not back in the lineup. But the biggest thing is getting him fully healthy so you don't sustain any more injuries is the main thing for this Canucks team. Now, fans, first off, what is your thoughts on Thatcher Demko? Do you want him to sit out as long as needed? Would you rather rush him back? Because I think that's the worst idea possible. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments, but let's go straight into another update. Now we have Conor Garland still, but we've seen on September 29th that Nils Hoglander underwent a successful lower body surgery and was out 8 to 10 weeks. Now we get an update from the Canucks today. As you can see in a non-contact red jersey, Nils Hoglander has rejoined the group. Now, with him rejoining the team, this is huge. We know Nils Hoglander was out for some time after the injury in the preseason. Getting Nils Hoglander back into this lineup is going to be huge, and Adam Foote himself spoke on it. You can see that he's excited to be back. He's a hard worker. It's nice for him and our team to see a player like that is close to playing. Now, with Nils Hoglander joining this group, there's going to have to be some sort of move to get him in. Now, of course, we're going to touch on Conor Garland and that situation, which feels like another downward spiral for the Canucks, but at the moment, getting Nils Hoglander back into the lineup, who had a bit of a down year, 8 goals and 25 points over 72 games last year. The Canucks were not their best. The year previous, though, 24 goals, 36 points. We know what Nils Hoglander can bring to this team. He brings speed. He can score goals. In theory, the 24 goals was a good indicator. Getting him back into this lineup is going to be a breath of fresh air. Getting a regular into the lineup at all is big for the Canucks when you're looking at a team that has dealt with so many injuries this season. I mean, looking at the team alone, David Kampf, our second line center, which is disgusting to say. Listen, shout out David Kampf. I would just prefer him as a fourth or third line center. This is the team that's without Filip Hronek. We've seen Jonathan Leckmeracki finally make it back. Derek Forbort hasn't played in some time. Victor Mancini has went back to Abbotsford. Tom Villander has stepped up tremendously. I did a full video on that. But this is a Canucks team that is constantly dealing with injuries. Now, there's a lot of teams around the NHL that are dealing with injuries. It's not only the Vancouver Canucks. You're seeing some freak accidents from Jack Hughes cutting his hand. We're seeing barbecue accidents happen in Florida with burns. But the big thing with the Canucks is getting this team fully healthy is going to be a big dictator on how this team actually is. I know the team in the standings is what, third, fourth worst in the NHL, but getting this team fully healthy, we're finally going to see and say, hey, this is where we need to improve. We know the big goal of this management group now is getting younger, moving out the pending UFAs like Evander King, Kiefer Sherwood, which sucks to say, but there's so many names that are going to be off this team with a younger group coming in, and guys like Nils Hoglander are going to be the perfect example. And by guys like, I mean the young guys that are in their 20s, Nils Hoglander is going to be awesome, but getting guys into this lineup and seeing this a finally healthy lineup is going to be a game changer. But going into the final update coming from IMAX Sports, he says as Canucks fly this afternoon to Denver, winger Conor Garland is headed back to Vancouver from LA for further evaluation. Undisclosed injury. Nils Hoglander had his first practice with the team in a non-contact, but looked lively. So once again, I'm not going to go too far into Conor Garland because we don't know the extent of this injury, but we're not going to have one of our top forwards and producers on this team versus the Avalanche that have lost one, and I'm saying that correctly, one game in regulation so far this year. So the Canucks are going into a red-hot team without one of their best forwards, without multiple of their best players. But let me know your thoughts down below. What is your thoughts on Thatcher Demko? What is your thoughts on Kevin Lankinen so far this season? The update on Nils Hoglander. Would you like to see him back sooner rather than later to inject this fast goal-scoring offense to the team? What is your thoughts on Conor Garland? Let me know all your thoughts around this insane update around this team down below, and you can be featured on Comment of the Day. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back in another episode, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. I'm super tired today, and listen, that double espresso shot is not hitting right now, but take care, Canucks fans.